MMA Underground with the Yankee the Britain Buddy B. And obviously you see that we have the Terrifier.
Yeah.
What's up, man? That was a great fight. It just premiered, so if you all ain't seen it yet, go watch Jay Gotham versus the Terrifier. I was so, man, when I saw that you two were going to fight and you sent me that, I was like, holy fuck, is this for real?
Hey, I didn't think it was for real either. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, is this even real? Is this happening? I mean, even on a fight day, I was like, is this still gonna happen? Then he showed up and we got it in. So
yeah, Jay Gotham does not play. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Man, I was telling people I don't know which one's better, in person or on camera, because I mean it really does capture the true essence of the fight. I love them both. Like,
no, I love watching fights in person, man. Like right there, like you just feel the aura, you know. You hear everything. You just hear the punches and.
Right, you got me on that one. I know we definitely heard and felt some of those punches throughout the cage. I was like, dang!
I felt one of those too. Shit. See my eye.
You're right.
I woke up with a headache. I was like, damn, did I get hit by a train or something?
Right? Oh, jeez. Yeah, he looks like a heavy hitter. You said you felt some of those hits too. I was like, oh man, I'm glad I'm not in his bracket.
You guys make me want to go get into a fight at the gas station or the grocery store, since I'm the only one who hasn't fought this weekend.
No,
yeah.
Come to the scrapyard. You can fight Buddy.
Someday I want to get out there to see a fight. Me and Cuzzo were joking that we were going to do a beef podcast boxing, but it has to be 1 minute rounds because neither of us are trying to do more than that.
That'd be fun. That'd be pretty cool.
Right. My podcast is better. No, mine's better. Let's go.
Don't break a hip now.
So I think me and you kind of talked about it, but that was a really short notice fight, man. You just got hit up on what day to fight on Saturday?
Well, I was planning on fighting this month anyway. I was going to take a kickboxing match with anybody. It really didn't matter. I was going to do a grappling match or something. I didn't know what I was going to do on Saturday until like 4 or 5 days ago when I forgot what I was on. I was on some kind of podcast, I think it was maybe Kicking It with Chicken. Yeah, it was the Heart in the Fight Scrap Talk. And Jay got on. He called. He said, "Hey man, if you want to fight, I know no one really wants to fight you. I will." I said, "Okay, let's do it."
That's crazy. I could not believe it because, like, I never thought I'd see that fight coming. You know, you got the light heavyweight champ, the heavyweight champ. And you guys just said, fuck it, we're going to go in there. We're going to throw down. There was some hard shots. And, buddy, I have to say, I would think being in person, like, because this is what I think. You watch it on video, and because you were there, you remember what it felt like. Where the rest of us, if we didn't get that, like, because it's so rocking in the scrapyard, sometimes you can feel it through the screen. So I can just imagine what it's like in person.
Oh yeah, some of it's like it's hard to hear sometimes too. People can't even hear their corners. Like some of the big matches, you know, once they start ramming into the cage or you get a killer kick, you just hear people start jumping up and down. And yeah, I swear I felt the ground rumble a couple times too. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the fight. I mean, I sure as hell was gonna call him out. I mean, honestly, like it's kind of a lose situation for me fighting a guy, you know, who's 80 pounds lighter than me because, you know, if I lose, I lost to a smaller guy than me. And if I win, it's like, oh, you only won because you're 80 pounds or whatever. But Jay Goth's a really skilled guy, and I couldn't see anyone who would be a better opponent than him at that time. I mean, he's one of the most active light heavyweights, and he's just a dominant light heavyweight at that.
Always down to fight everybody. I mean, you're talking. He's got strength, he's got skill. And he's got a chin because he's taking some shots and he's still standing up there getting in your face. I mean, all around a fighter. And they stay ready. Yeah, him and Viking Warrior are always ready to go. So Yeah, I'm glad I'm on their good side. Remember, Buddy V's on your good side.
I already know, buddy.
Do you feel like that was a good, like, a good warm up for the Kenny Fuego match coming up next month?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about
Wait,
that goddamn.
time out. So I gotta tell you something, buddy. I sent him a promo for the show we're doing today, and I accidentally sent it into a group chat with him and Kenny, and I think I kicked some shit up again. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I did that about an hour ago by accident.
Dang! Yeah, get all the juicy stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, brother. Hey, brother. I don't even know if that fight's gonna happen. If he doesn't show up, though, I'm fighting Brickhouse if he wants that smoke. Brickhouse called me out after the Jay Gom fight, and I'll fight Brickhouse for his kickboxing title, or he can come fight me in MMA. I don't give a rat's.
Ooh.
But I don't think that Kenny Fuego guy is showing up. He just pulled out of a fight with B2. He's just an internet gangster. I don't really like talking about him that much because
Okay.
He's all that hype, trying to talk all that mess. You got to back it up. You got to be willing to get in the cage and throw it out.
And I'll get off the Kenny topic, but I have to ask, if he does show up and the fight happens, because of the way you guys go back and forth, does it become a little personal?
Does it come personal? No. I mean, no, not really, because he hasn't really disrespected me. It becomes personal, you bring my family or something into it. It's just a fight at the end of the day, but I truly won't have any hard feelings with him if he does pull out. I mean, it's whatever. You talked all that shit. That's embarrassing for you, but
right?
It doesn't embarrass me. So either way, he's losing. If he pulls out, he's losing. If he fights me, he's losing.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I'll give him the most punishment I ever gave any fighter that I fought so far. I'm gonna drag it out. I'm not even gonna finish that fight. I'm gonna kick him. I'm gonna knee him in his ribs. I'm gonna slap him a few times.
I will say, anybody, you're not in the private chat with those guys. I am. That does not surprise me at all.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I can only imagine, get a little flip. Let's get that fire going. Stir that pot. Woo.
So you want a fight again in April, and then are we still looking at maybe like a nasty native fight or something coming up for the invasion?
I don't know about that fight, man. We're trying to figure it out right now. We're trying to get. I really want that fight. We're trying to get it figured out. It's a little shaky right now, but man, I really need that fight, man.
We want that fight too.
I want to see that.
People are making me the underdog in that fight. I don't like that. So I really want to show them that there's more to me.
Oh, absolutely. That's gonna be. Yeah, you'll definitely be rocking some sense in everybody. I'm curious, with the event just passing, how do you feel it went? You had a couple favorite fights at all, or?
Sorry, say it again.
With the event that we just had at the Scrapyard, did you have any favorite fights, or what'd you think about the event overall as a whole? Because I thought there were some bangers.
I was very impressed with Mad Dog. He looked really good. I mean, Scorpio was on he was on a little win streak, and Scorpio has a really good chin, so it was kind of. I mean, he got that finish on him in a very dominant way, and he had some very beautiful technical striking. He looked good. I like that. I like that fight the most, probably.
That was a fun one to watch.
And he had fun with it too. I love Scorpio too. Scorpio's a good friend of mine. I really enjoy watching him fight.
Like you said,
it sucks seeing him lose, but that fight was really entertaining to watch, I thought.
Scorpio's got a chin, man. How many times did he get hit? And you're like, that's a knockout, and he's just right there. You're like, wait, what?
Well, what else fight did I see? I don't know. I can't. The Brickhouse fight. Brickhouse looked good. I'm ready for that fight whenever he wants it, whenever I can do it. Also.
Kickboxing first in MMA? Yeah.
It don't matter. If he's on MMA, so I mean, if he wants the MMA smoke, he can come have it. But if I was him, I wouldn't take the MMA fight. I would take the kickboxing fight. because he's gonna take another. He's gonna take a ride. You know, I love that on my highlight reel. You know, a man that big on my shoulders, flying in the sky. That would look really cool.
Man, you know, West Coast Invasion in May. I'm gonna have to hook up with some Dwell merch. You gotta represent before that fight, man. That way you come out and shout it out before you win. Woo!
You gotta give me a shirt to wear. I'm gonna wear a shirt. I'll wear that shirt for my fight.
Hell yeah.
You know.
So, if you don't get the nasty native fight, is there somebody else you want to fight it from the West Coast?
Man, I really want to fight that roid head Grillapino, that juice head.
Oh.
I really want to fight him. He thinks he talks a lot of smack, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun to fight him.
When you said juice head, I pictured that Madman Moses or whatever that lost all his fights from the OG yard, the OG StreetBeefs yard.
No, I'm talking about the juice head, the West Coast juice head. Buddy B, what was your favorite fight yesterday?
Man, out of all the fights, oof, that was a tough one. I have to say the Karate Gandalf Samaritan fight, because there was a lot of skill that was shown, and once again, like you were saying, sometimes when you're in the fights live, you can feel the punches. And I felt like with that fight, some of the punches that were landed, some of the clean overhands, as soon as they made contact, I felt like it was just a woo, 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 woo. And I could just feel the glove making contact. I think that one definitely stood out the most for me. So,
yeah, it was a good fight. I watched that one.
Very rarely do I reach out to Buddy and go, hey, tell me who wins this fight after the scrapyard. But I do, or sometimes I'll reach out to Steve for certain fights and go, hey, I got to know who won, right? Because I'm never going to put it out there and ruin the video coming out, but you got to know. So yesterday I hit Buddy up and I'm like, you got to tell me who wins the Jay Gotham Terrifier fight. And then like an hour and a half later, you FaceTime me and I was like, oh, fuck, I get to find out now. I was really geeked to find out what happened in that fight right away. So I appreciate you guys letting me know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Are you gonna watch the Jorge Masvidal Colby Covington fight coming up?
When is that?
I think it's March 3rd.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
Yeah, of course I'm gonna watch that.
I'm excited. I'm like, ooh.
I'm not really a big fan of Colby Covington's personality, but I really love his fighting style. So I truly believe he's gonna dominate Jorge Masvidal.
I'm not a fan of Colby either, and I think Colby's going to win that fight too.
He's going to destroy that man.
Ooh. See, I kind of side with Jorge Masvidal.
Okay.
Colby has a lot of skill. He has a lot of technique, but I feel like Jorge Masvidal has a lot more confidence in some of his striking. I mean, he's one of the few that when he fights, he doesn't bend his knees. He stands straight up and go toe to toe. And there's a reason why his name is like he's a headliner. Because he sells tickets, he sells shows.
Yeah.
Colby Covington, great fighter. But, you know, people who are after UFC fights want to see blood. They want to see whatever. And, you know, we have a very technical, skilled fighter. We can all appreciate that. But not everyone's going to go to watch that. So he might not sell as many tickets. So I don't know. That might kind of be on his Jorge's side.
So, I agree there. Jorge does probably have the knockout advantage. But I just believe Colby Covington's style is just too close to the champion style. And I think Jorge struggles with that style.
That's the thing too. Like I know Jorge can knock people out because you hear him talk about 3-piece in a soda, whatever. Like that comes from knocking people out. But man, Colby took almost everything Usman had for him. And you know what I mean? And I think Usman's probably got more knockout power, but I'm glad I've never had to find out by fighting either of those dudes. So I think Colby can take a punch. And where I think Jorge would have to win this fight is by knockout, but I don't know if you guys disagree with that or not.
Yeah, I agree 100%. He's not out-wrestling Covington. That's definitely not going to happen. I mean, if it does, whoever's betting on that is making millions for real. That's not,
I mean, I feel like Masvidal's got the good some grappling defense because he stands straight up, but there's no way he's beating him in that game. He has to get the otherwise. Sorry.
We might see another Ben Askren style knockout. That'd be cool.
Yeah, some of the stuff he was saying, he's like, when I'm done with you, you're gonna have your bones broken, your cheekbones gonna be missing, you're gonna need surgery.
He always talks like that.
You guys know, I'm not gonna lie. I figured Jorge was gonna beat Ben Askren, but the way he did it and my freaking homerness for guys from Wisconsin, it just hurt me inside the way Askren
that hurt me too. I love Ben Askren. I look up to him tremendously. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And he was also phenomenal. Maybe mixed martial artist before the UFC. But he also was way out of his prime when he joined the UFC, I believe.
Oh yeah.
I just want to see. What's up?
I was like, wasn't there a UFC fighter in his late 40s that's going for a title shot here soon or something like that?
I mean, Glover Teixeira's 41, and he's the light heavyweight champion.
Maybe that's who it is, huh? Hell yeah.
Glover Teixeira's fighting Yuri. I don't know how to say his last name. His name's Yuri.
Yuri, yeah.
Starts with a P. He's a phenomenal striker, a phenomenal fighter. He knocked out Volkan Oezdemir. He knocked out I don't know who else he fought. But I got to see. I just want to see Francis fight again. That's my favorite fighter.
Ooh.
I love watching Francis fight, and I hope UFC can come to some terms with him, and get him to fight John Jones.
I actually just read this week that fight between him and Tyson Fury is pretty much a done deal.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Francis got some bang in those hands, but Tyson Fury, as odd as he looks, is such a talented boxer.
Honestly, bro, I don't like to bet against Francis Ngannou because I just love him. He's my favorite fighter of all time. Honestly, he's my favorite fighter of all time.
Okay.
And I just truly don't think he has the tools to beat Tyson Fury in boxing. Tyson Fury is he's like the modern day Muhammad Ali. Honestly, he's like Muhammad Ali, but physically better, physically better. He's like 6'7". His arms touches his knees. He's just a gigantic Muhammad Ali. I don't know how anyone's beating him. No one's beating him.
Oh.
I think Tyson Fury is going to go down one of the best boxers of all time, if not the best.
And I was really impressed with. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
I was saying, I agree with you guys. He has the tools, equipped, and Ngannou's he's a great fighter, but Tyson Fury, he knows, when you're boxing, you only got to worry about waist up. MMA, you have a whole different set of arsenals, and then that's Fury's specialty. So I think he's gonna end up taking it in the bag too.
I think if it was MMA, Francis definitely is knocking him out.
Yeah, it's both Buddy and I kind of underestimated Francis against Cyril Gane, and
Yeah.
I thought Cyril was going to have the better of him because of his striking, his speed, his footwork, and then all of a sudden, Francis outdid him with a torn-up leg.
2 torn-up legs, and Francis has been fighting technical strike. Francis has been fighting technical strikers since he got into the UFC. Francis is not a technical striker, but he has the equalizer, and that's his power. It's out of his world.
I think where I underestimated him is because every time I go into a fight of his, I think back to the Derek Lewis fight where they both were afraid to throw a punch.
I truly believe that fight should have been a draw. I mean, that was one of the worst fights I ever watched in my life.
Yeah, and if they fought 9 times out of 10, and I love Derek Lewis because my balls is hot, Joe. I think he gets knocked out 9 out of 10 times by Francis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That fight with So what do you think? What do you think they should do? The UFC should do with Tai Tuivasa? You think they should give him a title shot? Well, obviously not, because Francis has that. I mean, maybe not a title shot, but he probably should fight Stipe or somebody else in that category.
That would be a good fight, and I definitely want as much as the off-field stuff, and I always say that John Jones needs the UFC more than the UFC needs John Jones, but we need to get John Jones back in there for the fans so we can see what he can do at heavyweight. Because there's a couple fights in his history that I would argue that John may have actually lost and he got the decision, but he's still one of the greatest fighters ever.
I'm telling you, I don't think he's gonna do too well at heavyweight. I mean, the way he gets touched up at light heavyweight, if Francis touches him like that, man, you're going to sleep, buddy. I'm sorry. I don't think anyone can survive getting touched up like that by Francis. And I think Francis is a very fast striker for a heavyweight. When he gets those combinations going, they start just like lightning. Seriously.
I know Jones keeps saying he's not going to take the Stipe fight, but I'd like to see that first anyway, because I'm really curious to see if he can run with Stipe at heavyweight.
Yeah, I mean that's the heavyweight GOAT so far, right? He's the most accomplished heavyweight. So yeah, I'd love to see that fight too. I mean, I'd prefer to see a Francis fight. I mean, if you see the way John has struggled with the fighters, it's people as tall as him, and Francis is tall as him, just almost the same amount of reach, which is a ridiculous amount of reach. It's like 80. So Francis is like second longest arms in the UFC, I believe, besides John Jones.
Dang.
And Francis is also weighs a shit more ton than him.
Yeah, Francis cuts to make 265.
Yeah.
Dang, I wonder what he walks around at. Jeez, that's a big boy.
Buddy, how'd your fight yesterday? How'd that play out? I'm sorry.
That was a very fun fight. I actually ended up getting my I can say it on here, but yeah, I ended up getting my win. Another win again. All right, heck yeah. I was on a little bit of a losing streak, but no. I ended up getting it in the first round, a rear naked choke. So it was some good forth for a quick minute. You know me, I like to drive my opponents into the cage. So there was a little bit of just some slamming around, bam and bam. And then I got a quick, good little takedown. And as I jumped on his back, he tried doing like the backpack slam. And right when he did, it kind of sunk in a little bit more. And yeah, I like that.
I really love that Buddy v. Simo fight. That was a good ass fight. That was a dope ass fight.
That was a fun fight. I wish I could have did a couple of things differently, but it is what it is.
I want to see a rematch in that one.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I want that win. Give me that. That was too close last time. I'm making it split. No judges.
Yeah.
So, buddy, I gotta ask. We do an MMA show together. Was that a off the cuff fight, or did you know that was coming? Because I didn't know you were fighting this weekend.
Oh, yeah, I signed up. I kind of didn't know. I signed up like a week right before the event. I was kind of iffy about it. My training was, I haven't had a whole lot of time. Sometimes personal life gets in the way. And yeah, I was definitely a little bit nervous for that. So, but then I was like, you know what? I know I'm going to regret it if I don't fight. If I don't fight, I'm going to regret it. If I do fight, win or lose, I'm going to be glad I got in there. So I'm doing it. I showed up and he told me I was fighting Dexis, and I felt like that was a good match. Texas' striking has definitely been going up a lot more. His last fight, he annihilated his opponent. I think in the second round, he ended up making the guy quit. So,
so Terrifier, I gotta ask you, because you're a big, strong fucking dude, right? That dude's back out of fighting and that kind of shit. People probably don't even think it, but like, what kind of nerves do you have your first time going into the cage compared to now? Is it way different?
I remember listening to John Jones lead up with Rampage Jackson, and he was saying like he was a little terrified, a little nervous to fight Rampage Jackson because he reminds him of like the big black brother, like the big black brother he grew up with or something like that, and like. I kind of felt that way with Jay Gavin a little bit. I was like, okay, this is a grown-ass man, he has kids. And I'm just this little kid, what if he knocks me out? I was my nerves were just high for that fight. I wasn't even saying anything. I was hella nervous for that fight. I'm not going to lie. And, I just thought, he just reminded me of the big brother, you know what I mean? I was like, okay, I gotta fight a big brother. So I was like really nervous about that fight. So that's kind of how I was feeling going into the fight. But I was like, you know, to stay calm. You know, um, let's test out your striking. I tried to strike with him a little bit. We both caught each other. You know, my eyes.
Yeah.
He caught me a little harder, and I was like, damn. Then I tried to re-enter and like get my hooks going, and he initiated the grappling, which I was very surprised. I was like, is he grappling me right now? I was like, okay, let's do it then. And you know, I got my my wizard in, and I went for a lateral drop, takedown on him, and it went. So I was like,
That was
And he
the
was
most
quick
shocking
too.
thing.
huh?
Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, listen, he was real quick too. I saw he was like the minute he was on his back, legs were already moving,
Yeah.
kicking, trying to grab something, trying to submit something. I was like, dang!
He was doing
I
well.
couldn't believe he grappled. Like, I was watching the fight, and I couldn't believe Jay got him. I thought he was going to, like, you know, stay back, try to use some quickness, that kind. Jay was like, fuck it, let's go, right in there.
Yeah.
I was trying to strike, and he was trying to grapple, which is a very interesting turn of events. But
Yeah.
he had some really long arms. He was very strong. Probably the strongest guy I wrestled in the scrapyard so far. Like
That says a lot. Yeah.
yeah, I was trying to, you know, go forward and push him forward, but I couldn't. He was really strong, so I did that. I kind of felt him pushing forward on me, so I was like, okay. I just sat back and did that lateral drop on him, and
Now, I'm curious though. Do you think the fact that he stepped in the cage with you, he fought you, and he's admitted that he's down to fight whoever, that people are gonna try not to fight him now?
I mean, if I was a person his weight, I wouldn't fight him.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna take a really takes a really technical, strong, physically gifted man to beat him at his weight. So I mean,
I know, right? Not many people are trying to jump up and fight someone, you know, like an 80-pound difference. I'm like, no. People
Yeah.
push out like 8-pound difference. But no. What do you mean he's 7.5, 8 pounds bigger than me? No, we have to be the same weight.
but you know, I kind of have that same mindset. When I was a kid, when I was about 16, I was wrestling up heavyweight. I went to the state championships at heavyweight, weighing 200 pounds. I want to wrestle the big guys. I like wrestling the big guys. Made me stronger. Made me, and also what I loved about wrestling heavyweight at 200 pounds was I noticed I was more technical, more aware. Like, okay, I can't out-muscle these guys, so I gotta be more technical. And I got to show that I'm a more technical wrestler. So I learned a lot of technique wrestling at heavyweight. So at 220, I wasn't the best 220 in Wisconsin. I was one of the best, but you know, I basically got to where I was at 220 from just muscling guys around. And then at heavyweight, I got to where I was by being more technical.
Now you can use your skills to throw people like a rag doll.
Yeah. So like I didn't give a shit about weight class. I truly believe after like 185, it don't matter anymore. I don't know. I truly believe, like, you see guys like Jacare Souza submitting Fabricio Verdum in a BJJ match. Like, you see that. Like, I truly believe at the 185, it really don't matter.
I mean, Vanderlei Silva, like, what did he actually weigh when he was fighting 205? Because he used to fight 170 at times, you know, that kind of thing.
You missed it. You're 10 pounds under. You're good.
Freaking who else? Randy Couture, one of the best examples of that. That guy will fight anybody. I love Randy Couture.
Those are the guys I grew up watching. And like, I mean, I watched the original UFCs when we were young, when your mom used to have to go rent it. Well, I'm older than you guys, but you know, go rent it for you. But yeah, literally my like real, you know, getting into UFC hardcore was Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture. Those guys were like when I was getting engulfed in it. The beginning of Cowboy Cerrone, those kind of things.
Just Ken Shamrock. No.
That's a little too back.
I did watch the Ken.
I love watching. My first time I watched an MMA fight was Brock Lesnar, and I fell in love with it ever since. I love Brock. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time too. I love Brock. I mean, he wasn't the most complete fighter, but he was really fun and entertaining to watch. And he was dominating great guys.
Shout out Frank Mir for that ankle lock that saved the whole UFC a black eye in his first title fight.
You see who did Frank Mir recently box? He boxed some really good boxer, like some ranked boxer.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Who he is?
I'm trying to remember who he fought.
Frank Mir boxed a current ranked boxer, heavyweight boxer. He didn't do too well.
Yeah, I bet.
But you know who? Come on, you gotta figure out who this guy is, because Junior Dos Santos is gonna fight this guy now, and now I love Junior Dos Santos. Was my favorite heavyweight of all time before Francis Ngannou came around.
All right, I'm really gonna screw this name up, but it's Kabrat Pulvi or
Polov.
Okay.
Polov.
Yeah.
All right.
Polov is like ranked number 5 in the world right now. But Junior Dos Santos is boxing him, and I truly think that Junior Dos Santos could hold his own in boxing. He's probably the best heavyweight boxer of all time in MMA. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's always tough for the boxer to have the advantage, though, because if those guys stepped in a cage, they would get destroyed. And they always talk the MMA guys to going over to boxing. And it's like, besides James Toney, who did not practice a ground game at all, and he's one of my favorite boxers of all time, but he had 0 ground game against Randy Couture? That's who it was, right?
Yeah.
But I want to see a boxer come over and fight MMA.
It's not going to happen. But the thing about this fight with JDS and Polov, it's going to be in an event called Triad. It's like this triangular rope rope boxing ring. It's triangular, and the MMA it's MMA fighters versus boxers. It's an MMA fighter versus boxer fighting thing. Mike Perry just fought in Triad, and he beat a ranked boxer in it. And Mike Perry's a fucking animal. Mike Perry's one of the best boxers and UFC's ever seen too. But
Mike Perry's about to fight that Julian. Put me back in. I forget his name.
He did. He beat his ass.
Oh, he did end up fighting him in bare knuckle.
He fought him already, like last week.
Okay, it was. I knew it was coming up. Okay, so Perry won that fight.
Yeah, but we're in Triad, you're allowed to clinch as long as you want. You're allowed to clinch as long as you want, and it's like very, very small. So those MMA guys are using that to their advantage and getting some wins against the boxers.
I gotta check that out, man. What the heck
that is?
And I think they also fight. They also fight in puffies. What are the puffies? 6 ounces.
Oh,
the training MMA gloves. You know, the ones they wear like the puff.
Oh, it's like open handed. It's just right on top.
Yeah, it's like a boxing glove on top, but you can
also
I got one. Yeah, it's like an MMA versus. It's a really big organization right now. They're doing really good. They had a really good first event. Rampage Jackson and Let's Go Champ. Who's that? Let's Go Champ. Come on, you know. The Let's Go Champ guy. Shit. God. Shannon Briggs.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
You know Shannon Briggs. Shannon Briggs and Rampage Jackson are trying to fight each other.
What?
Yes, they want to fight each other. You need to see all the internet beef they've been having?
Man, no, I've been kind of a little bit off for a minute, but
They're gonna do one boxing and they're gonna do another in MMA.
one each. Ooh.
They're having 2 fights.
Do you know which one they're gonna have first?
Huh?
Boxing first, I take it, or what? Or MMA?
Boxing first.
Ooh, I haven't. Yeah.
See, I hate they're doing boxing first because then it gives you a chance to pull out of the MMA.
Yeah.
Dang. No, you give me too hard. I'm concussed. I can't fight MMA. Sorry. They should do it like the smokers do it back to back, one on one day, one on the other, right?
Oh no. I think they might do that in Triad though. The organization I was just talking about.
Should have a Rampage Jackson since like the Tough House series, the show.
He had a fight in Bellator like a couple years ago.
Always a very entertaining guy, though. Rampage does not give a fuck and will say anything, so you can't help but enjoy watching him every time he talks. Plus, he seems like a dude you'd want to hang out with. He seems fun as shit.
Yeah.
Didn't his son just have an MMA fight?
Yeah. His son just won 2 fights in a row.
Yeah, he was like, I'm a proud dad.
In a pro, I believe. I think it was a pro.
Pro, damn. I mean, yeah, if your dad's Rampage Jackson, I can't even imagine the kind of training you'd be able to get for free.
Yeah.
So, what's the plan after you win your next fight against in April? Then you go to the Invasion and you win that. What are we doing after that?
I'm gonna either fight Beast or that's gonna be my last fight for a while in Street Beefs. I told Beast, the guy, Beast.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, dude, if you want to fight, I mean, you can do it before August. After that, I'm pretty much done with Street Beefs.
On to the next level. Would you ever try to go fight in Bellator?
Bellator?
Yeah.
I gotta go pro for that. I can't go pro right now because I'm in the military.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
But I'd obviously love to fight for Bellator. That'd be a huge honor. Yeah, hopefully that's the goal. That's one of my goals. One day, Bellator one of those big organizations. Look at this guy do.
Right, and it gives us time too with all the COVID and everything going on, restrictions.
Yeah.
Some are still in place, some are getting lifted. It gives everything enough time to settle down and get back to normal, and then you could be like, all right, then I go 110%.
So my plan is, I'm gonna go to Hawaii, do like maybe 5 amateur fights there, just focus on training and do like 5 amateur fights and then go pro in 2025 because that's when I get out the military.
Fair enough.
I really want to take my time because I'm not a complete mixed martial artist yet. As much as people like to think I'm cocky, but I know there's plenty of way better martial artists than me out there. So I'm young and I got a lot to learn still. So Street Beefs is more of a training thing for me. I believe I love it because I love it. It feels like it's like training. I love Street Beefs. I love being part of the organization, but this is like a very to see. It's kind of to see if I have it or not. That's why I did it. I was like, do I actually have it? Am I actually the kind of fighter I think I am? And turns out I do.
Yeah.
So
I mean, sorry.
So I'm gonna continue my training, get better at jiu-jitsu. My jiu-jitsu is not the best. Get my striking better, and just focus on getting healthy because I'm out of shape. Focus on all that. I want to get. I'm 280 right now. I want to get to 250. I want to walk around at 250.
Yeah, that's a nice solid weight.
So I have a lot of goals, and I do plan on meeting them. And I have a lot to improve. Like I know I have a lot to improve. I know I'm going to improve a lot.
Well, the great.
It's up.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the great thing about Street Beefs, but I didn't mean to cut you off, was you get a lot of experience that a lot of even guys who just start an amateur don't even have.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, what, there's an event almost every single month too. Some of those amis you don't always get that. Here, every month you can prepare, take one off, get one on, do whatever.
Yeah.
Use it as a stepping stone. I mean, as long as you do it the right way, I mean, shoot, it could be a platform to do so many other things.
Street Beefs is a great way to start off fighting. Like I truly believe that. Like how many people are gonna watch me fight amateur? I don't know. I got 171,000 people watching me.
Yeah.
Watching me fight.
Yeah.
I want to add up all the numbers. It's too much. Too much math.
And when I get big, you know, if I do get big, you know, hopefully everything goes right. They're like, oh, this guy was doing that, fighting in backyards. He's an animal. Like, you know,
right.
Jorge Masvidal started off fighting in backyards.
Right, with Kimbo Slice.
now look at Jorge Masvidal now, and you know I like that about Jorge Masvidal because he wasn't even training when he fought for the backyards, and now look at he's one of the top guys in the world.
Oh yeah. Well, I haven't watched this documentary yet on YouTube. Can't lie.
Like again, I'm not a big fan of Jorge Masvidal's personality, but I really do respect how he came up. It's a big inspiration to me. So that's kind of how I want to come up. I want to be like I want to do great things for Street Beefs too. I want to, you know, get big one day and be like oh, Luther Egerson came out of Street Beefs. You know, that's a legit organization. You know, it's a great way to fight. If Luther Egerson can come and make it big in the world, then I could start from there too.
I'm sure you'll agree with us, but Buddy and I and some other people have had this discussion because I've gotten to these arguments on Facebook groups where people will say something about, oh, Street Beefs this or that. And I'm like, if these amateur MMA companies or promotions were smart, they'd be flooding the Street Beefs guys into their amateur fights because what amateur walks into a fight with the following that some of these Street Beefs guys have?
Yeah. And like I don't get that logic like about Street Beefs because like people who go to amateur fights, they're guys with 0-0 records too going in and fighting for them. They're not no pro. They're not like high level pros. Like amateurs to see if you got it or not, just like how Street Beefs is. I'm fighting guys who are training.
Right.
Jay Gon definitely trains.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys in the different Street Beef branches that could hold their own in those amateur promotions, and people don't realize it because they think it's like just some weird backyard, you know, beef shit, and people who don't train or know anything. Watch guys like you fight. Watch guys like James Gotham fight. Watch guys like Shiloh, Preacher's son, fight. Like those guys are training every day.
Yeah. Look at David Wilson. He's pro now. Baby Hawk.
Yeah.
He went doing a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, what, 5 foot fearful? Or what did he say? 5 foot something?
He went 5'1" amateur.
And then isn't Country Hoodlum and Fair Play making moves right now too? So, you know.
Fair Play I heard is supposed to do some MMA pro.
Okay.
But I don't really know. I think Country Hoodlum is rough and rowdy. I love that fight too. I mean, a lot of people saying that I'd lose that fight against Country Hoodlum. And I'd love to do that fight. I love to have that fight.
He's a good fighter, though. Well, they had Memnon Warrior and then Reckless Rico, too, but that was like right before COVID hit, so I don't know how much active they've been. There was Red Reaper from the West Coast. He was fighting with them for a minute before he had a falling out, and I think I saw him. You say, yeah, right? I think he traveled to Mexico recently, or not too long ago, for a fight.
Memnon Warrior trains in Wisconsin at Duke Rufus's gym, Rufus Sport.
Really?
Milwaukee.
I didn't know.
Milwaukee.
Hell yeah!
He's from Chicago. That's where I think he's from Chicago.
Yeah, well, anytime you say Milwaukee and MMA, I'm just going to yell Thug Rose. It's just going to happen. And
yeah,
Showtime Pettis.
I know. Tyron Woodley trained from there too.
Really?
Tyron Woodley trained at Rufus Sport. That's his gym.
Yep.
He trained at Rufus Sport.
Yeah, the thing is though, is Rose and Anthony Pettis are from Wisconsin. That makes it even better for me, you know. But yeah.
Yeah. And who else is from Wisconsin? I just hope I can live up to their
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Ed Gein. Oh, Ed Gein. Oh, I never heard that one. Ooh.
Ed Gein is from Wisconsin. Yeah.
If you ever need your couches reupholstered with skin, Ed Gein was your guy.
I just pray to God I can like even reach like 25% of those guys' careers.
Right.
I mean, you never know. Like we were saying, you know, amateur fights, you only get so much exposure. With street beefs, you get all sorts of exposure fights. And I mean, how many pros, Hall of Famers, boxing, MMA, you know, even kickboxing, whatever, are watching some of these fights because they're seeing it. I mean, even different podcasts. I mean, what was it? Shinigami went with like Brandon Schaub and a couple other people. They're watching
McAfee.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, you never know who's gonna come out and be like, you know what? I like everything you're doing. I want to give you a shot. I want to see what you're made of.
And Little Evil Jens Pulver has a lot to do with street beefs. He talks about them online. He reacts to videos. I mean, think about that. The first 155 champion in UFC history, Little Evil.
Exactly.
Jens Pulver's a beast.
I actually think he narrated mine and Gash's fight, and he was like, "Look at this little guy winding up like you're pressing the A button."
Yeah. No, street beefs is finally, for most people, I think they're getting over the stigma of what street beefs is, like MMA fans and stuff. But I do think it's weird that you find gyms that are like, oh, if you're in my gym, you can't fight there.
You know what, though? I think at first, that's kind of what street beefs was. I think street beefs has evolved into like a legit amateur organization, like with people who train and actually like train for fights and cut weight for fights. I truly believe that street beefs has evolved from like when we first saw like two bums fighting in the backyard. now it's just like legit fighters coming in. You got guys like Nasty Native and freaking people, you know, guys like that, David Wilson.
Yeah. I mean, how many people were like, oh, I was getting ready to try to go fight in an organization, and all of a sudden COVID hit, and I had nowhere to go. Street beef was the only place. And all of a sudden, they're getting all this exposure, and bam.
Yeah, for real.
And I mean, I figure people would be able to utilize it a tad bit more. But, you know, when you're a fighter through and through. I love to fight, but I know I'm not going to go pro. At 28 years old, I know I'm more than likely just going to fight, and that's it.
But there's also other things you could do. That you could become a coach. You could, you know, you could stick to street beefs. You know, you're a big part of street beefs, and you do a lot for street beefs.
No, there's a lot of people who put a lot of work into street beefs to make this work. There's, you know, and everybody knows what Scarface does, but like Fire Chicken puts in a ton of work. You're out there helping him all the time, buddy. You're doing interviews. You're doing everything you can. You're running the other camera. Like if it wasn't for guys like you guys putting this work in for these guys, I think that's what really helped it evolve. Like Terrifier was saying, is that there is a huge evolution, but it has a lot to do with the community of guys who have put in the effort to make it evolve.
Exactly. And I mean, yeah, everywhere you look, I mean, OG Yard, you have a Sunshine, Iraqi Assassin, basketball. Yeah. West Coast.
I just watched a Stroka video, and you know, Johnny Walker's brother was fighting in Stroka. Johnny Walker, the light heavyweight contender. I was like, what the hell? I was like, I want to go to Stroka and fight him.
I saw, what was it, at one of the events, Sugar Sean O'Malley went to one of them. Yeah. I don't know which one, but I was like, all right, okay. I've thought about fighting for them once or twice, maybe, because, yeah, they got in the USA, but we'll see about that later.
I just saw a post of Bobby Green going to one of the West Coast events.
What?
Bobby Green was at a West Coast event coaching a fighter.
Damn! All right, who's coming to Scrapyard, you guys?
For real. We can get We can get the current champion who just beat Amanda Nunes. She's from Washington.
Pena.
Oh yeah, Pena. Yeah, that was a good one. That was such an upset.
Juliana.
Man, do I wish I had a crystal ball because that was 600 to 1. That was the fucking odds. Plus 600 on that fight. Man, if I'd have had a crystal ball, I'd be loaded right now.
Right. Damn, like I'm sorry, I gotta empty out my savings. Just trust me.
You know what? You know what? I truly think you have a second chance though, because I think when they fight again, I think the odds are. I think Amanda Nunes will be a favorite because people like you, like Buddy V, says it was an upset. People,
Yeah.
I think the betting odds are gonna think it was an upset too, and I think you can still make some good money. I think Julia Pena wins again.
I was going to say I'm scared to bet against her now, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm scared to bet against either of them at this point. Going into that fight, I knew she was going to bring it to her. I knew she was going to be in her face. I knew she was one of the few who weren't scared of Amanda Nunes because she's been calling for her for years, right? So she's been planning for this, but I still thought Amanda was going to win that fight.
But okay, but right now, even though you just saw Juliana Pena win, you still have Amanda Nunes as the favorite, right?
Yeah, just because I think she's gonna change her training, come in with a different game plan, and she's still the monster we've watched for years.
Oh yeah, but I think Juliana Pena has her number.
I hope you're right. Actually,
she's waiting right there.
You know, I think I'm gonna bet on that fight. I think I'm gonna bet Pena. You know, I think I might hit the lottery here.
I mean, it's hard to call rematches like the whole Figueiredo fight. They're trying to go for 4.
But come on now, they've been even all 3 fights though. Julia, that wasn't even fight. that was a domination. Like I kind of felt bad for Amanda because it kind of reminded me of when she beat Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. Yes.
When she put it to Cyborg.
The thing about Amanda though, she already knew how it felt to lose though. She's lost before to Kat Zingano. She knows how it feels to lose, but Ronda didn't know how it felt to lose at that point.
No, it crushed Ronda's whole world. If you read that stuff that she was saying afterwards, she was in a really dark place.
I love Ronda, and I really did not like the way the MMA community and just like the world treated her after she lost, because she still is one of the best female fighters of all time.
I mean, she's killer, and what goes up must come down eventually. But like I said, the community can be so harsh. I mean, she went to the WWE and did some stuff there, but I mean, when she was on top of her game, there was all sorts of talk. She was supposed to be in a like Captain Marvel or a superhero. She was gonna be in movies. She had all these deals, and
they were gonna redo Roadhouse with her. They were gonna do Roadhouse and pulled out.
This is why this is for me. This is the reason why I'll never ever. I don't care what anyone tells me. I'll never worry about being an entertaining fighter. Like I'll always focus on winning the fight. Like just the way they did Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker is a very entertaining fighter. Very entertaining. One of the most entertaining light heavyweights you've ever seen. Like he does amazing like kung fu type moves. But when he loses and he wants to make an entertaining fight for the fans, people are just making memes about him getting knocked out and just like talking bad about him. So like I'll never focus on entertaining the fans. I'm just an entertaining fighter, I guess, my style, but I'll never focus on being an entertaining fighter.
I mean, when you pick people up and slam them, it's pretty entertaining.
He's got a point. Yeah.
That's for me when I do that though. That's kind of a statement, a thing like, "Hey man, I can ragdoll you. I could throw you around." And when you get picked up above your head and slammed, you're like, "Damn, I'm getting my ass beat."
Yeah.
As a man having another man hoist you up, you're like, fuck, this didn't just happen.
Against your will too. You're like, I'm getting my ass beat.
Yeah, that's like insult to injury. Rub some salt in the wound, why don't you?
So that's why I kind of like doing that. But I can't always do that against technical fighters because I'm not the most, I'm not a cross country runner now, dude. It takes a lot of cardio to do. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big guy.
Dude, that's like Scotty's slammed someone in almost every single one of his fights too. Comes up, picks him up, looks at the camera, and then bam.
Yeah, I like Scotty Showtime. He's entertaining. I can't wait to see him evolve. Also.
Yeah, I'm curious to see who he would fight next because I think his last one was that call out, Dre, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a big guy. People don't realize how big he is. He's actually a pretty big guy.
Yeah, that's weird to see. Sometimes when you see the fighters in the cage, you think they're a lot smaller than what they are. But then in person, you're like, no, you're like way 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot almost. Or,
Yeah.
I'm 5'6", so almost everyone I meet is taller than me.
Don't worry, buddy. I'm only a hair over 5'8", so But
that's why I usually do my hair. I'll gel it up a couple inches. That way I look at normal height.
Shameless plug. Anybody who's a fan of Scotty Showtime, go back and watch some of our previous interviews. We have a show with Scotty Showtime. It was a great show. All right, I'm done with that shameless plug. All right, man. We won't keep you all day. We've already kept you an hour. I appreciate your time. I was so excited to see that you and Jay Gotham fought. And I can't wait to see what's next for you. And I really hope that Nasty Native fight ends up getting hooked up.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking time out of your day also. Anytime.
You are more than welcome anytime. So when your ass is in Hawaii, don't forget us.
Well, I'm still going to be involved with Street Beef, so.
You can call from anywhere in the world nowadays.
There you go.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. One world, one love. Deuces.